Hello, this is Edward Ojambo, the webmaster for ojamboshop.com. Ojambo.com has a great article on adding a page hit counter to your website. A hit occurs whenever there's a request on a web server for a file. One scenario will be storing each page hit in a database or file. The link is www.ojambo.com/page-hits-counter. You can also visit www.ojamboshop.com for templates for WordPress, Zencard, and other popular content management systems. In order to follow along with this tutorial, the following tools are required: a text editor for creating and modifying the page hit counter files, web server, PHP, HTML, knowledge of the files to be served. I'll be running Apache web server locally and be using Guinea as the IDE with Firefox or Chrome to view the output. In this tutorial, every single page request will count as one hit. I'm going to create an empty page hits text file. First, we'll create the folder. We'll call it Ojambo underscore page hits counter underscore 0008. Now, inside this folder, I'm going to create an empty file to store that will be storing the page hits. We're not going to use the database for this tutorial. So the file will just be called page underscore hits dot text, just a simple text file. Okay, and open up Guinea. I create a file called page underscore hit PHP. Then what we do is the first thing we do is we define the file storing the counter, and this is just the file we created earlier, just a text file. That was page underscore hits dot text txt. Next, we create a counter variable and read file into a string. So what we do is the variable will be called page underscore hits, and we'll use the function built-in PHP function called file get contents, and we'll get it from the page hits file, which is called page hits dot text or txt. Then what we want to do next is we want to increment the counter by 1. So this way, because the first counter will obviously be 0, so we want it to be 1 when it's hit. So page hits, just use ++, that's shorthand for page hits plus page hits plus 1. Then what we want to do is we want to open the file and prepare it for writing. So I just created a variable called file handle, and I'll use a built-in PHP function called fopen. It'll open the page hits file, and I'll use the W to indicate it's going to for writing. Then I'll use another built-in PHP function called fwrite, and I'll call the variable fhandle and the what I want to write into the file, which is the page hits, the updated page hits. Okay, then you need to close the file. We use again built-in PHP function called fclose, and we use the file handle. Okay, then the display, to display the hits, we just use a simple echo function and echo page hits, and that's it. Save. Okay, and I caught this error here. It should be spelled fclose wrong, so just a little error there. Save it. Save the file. Create a new file. This file is going to be called index.php. This is the one This is the file that the server will run first. So all I do is for the title, I just change the title to ojambo.com page hits counter tutorial. This is a very simple index.php file. So all I need is just in the body, I'm just gonna put a heading h1 tags, just ojambo.com page counter, and then I'm gonna wrap the actual page hits in a paragraph tag. You can use any type of tag you want. So I'll just use a php include function, and I'll call the file created earlier, which is called page underscore hit dot php. Now I'll close out the php tag inside the paragraph tag. Now save this file. Open and I'll just make sure the permissions are set properly. And make sure I have read and write access for my Apache server. As you can see, this was the error I got, so I fixed that because it didn't have the right permissions. Now it does. As you can see, the page counter is working properly. When I refresh the page, the counter should increment. Okay. Now, adding a page hit counter on your website is easy. A hit counter can be saved in a database or file. I hope you find this information useful. Please visit ojambo.com and leave feedback.